So, normally we would have brought you guys in here. First of all, I want to say it feels so good to have the children up here. You guys always make me feel so good and like I can just play and explore the world and enjoy life. And so I'm so glad you're here. It brings an energy into this room. You are our future. We don't convert people, or we don't try to convert people. So really the only way that we can keep the Torah alive is through you. So we're so glad you're here up on the bima with us today. When Rosh Hashanah falls on Shabbat, there's something that we don't do on Rosh Hashanah. Do you know what that is? Blow the shofar. Yeah, so we have our shofar over there on the piano. They're waiting. They're a little sad, but it's okay. Blasting the shofar is considered unnecessary on Shabbat because the purpose of the shofar is to hear the cry of our own souls. And at Shabbat, we have stillness within us that makes it possible to hear our inner shofar without blasting the outer shofar. Question? Oh, that is the crown, the keter that goes on top of the Torah. Okay, so you know how like when the Torah comes, when we open the ark, everybody stands up, and the Torah is like the king or the queen. Yeah, it's like a king or a queen. Okay, one more question, yes. Is the Torah alive? The Torah is a tree of life, and so it's only alive if we study it and we live the Torah. But otherwise, the Torah is not alive. It's actually dead animal skin. Okay. In the Torah, Rosh Hashanah is called Yom Zichron Truah, Day of Remembering the Cry of the Shofar. So we're here today not to blast the shofar, but to remember what it sounds like. What was the first time that what was the first time that people ever heard a shofar? Do you know when that was in history? Anybody know? Anyone? Guess? Yeah?
When Moses climbed up Mount Sinai?
Yes, so that would be probably the most accurate answer. However, the Midrash also says, so really good answer, there was the shofar at Mount Sinai. The Midrash also says that when God, Elohim, Great Spirit, sculpted the earth in the beginning of creation and blew the breath of life into that human, making it alive, that the sound of the shofar came through the chest and the lungs and the heart of that human being. So the first time we heard the shofar was the first cry of the first human when they were created. So when we hear the shofar, we are remembering the sound of our own voice. It's supposed to sound like the crying of a voice. As the prophet Isaiah said, cry with full throat, without restraint, kashofar harem kolecha. Lift up your voice like a shofar. Based on this verse, Reb Pinchas of Kars teaches, just as the shofar is a hollow tube, right, whose sound is only brought to life when we blow breath through it, so too, we are hollow tubes, right, awaiting the breath of the Holy One to bring us to life, to fill our lives with purpose. So, there's no ram's horn blown on Shabbat, but when we lift our voices and we pray and we cry today, we are a living shofar. So can you imagine that? Maybe we should stand like a shofar. Imagine you are a living shofar and remembering the first voice of the first human. And as you said, what's your name? Bowden said that the shofar was also heard at Mount Sinai. So it wasn't just our own voice, it was also the voice of God calling out to us from the silence. And we could think when we hear the shofar this year, what is God calling on me to do this year? So, now I'm getting to the part where we're all going to become shofarot. You will see. We all know what it feels like when you guys know what this feels like, when you have so much pain inside, you're so sad, and you can't cry, but then you go in front of your mom or your dad or somebody who really you feel safe with, and all of a sudden that cry comes out. And I've seen it with my 4-year-old. She does it it's kind of like this. It's like, okay. Can we all try that? Let's try that right now. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Sounds more like a whale.
Yes, it does. It sounds like like a whale in the ocean. Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool intention for the shofar. Okay, so let's try now shivarim. This is another one. And by the way, this is what Rabbi Jessica Kate Meyer calls a shofar-chestra. We're going to make a shofar-chestra. Okay, so let's try shivarim. This is the one that goes. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Shivarim. Okay, and now we're going to do teruah. Are you ready? Teruah. I think I sound like a monkey. Okay, so that was our shofar-chestra. Everyone, please rise. So since we don't have the shofar to blast this year, we are going to close our eyes and take a deep breath in through our nose, out through our mouth, deeply and gently. And when you make a shofar, you have to scrape out the schmutz inside for the sound to come out. So let's do that. Let's get all the schmutz. Don't actually throw up or anything, but get the schmutz that we're feeling inside out of us so we can be open, so we can be hollow. So let's take in a deep breath and hold our breath and tighten up our bodies. And release. And relax. Let's do that one more time. Ready? And tight. Okay, now imagine that your body is one giant, living, breathing shofar. Together, with our voices, as one, we're going to open our hearts and call out to God with one great Tekiah Gedolah. You know what a Tekiah Gedolah is?
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, it's one blow, except it's really like 1,000 really long.
Exactly. Yeah. Any other comments on that? Yes.
It's a sound that basically sounds like
Yeah. So what she's doing. Okay, you can stop now. You can stop. All right. So it's so much more fun when kids are in here, isn't it? Okay. So we need some stillness first. Okay, I'm going to shout Tekiah Gedolah in one moment, and then we are all going to let out that cry that's inside of us as one community. If we do it all together, then we can recreate the experience of hearing the shofar even on Shabbat. Are you ready? Everyone take a deep breath. Tekiah Gedolah. All right, let's say a Shehechianu for this moment that we're all together. I think you guys took another breath. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'hidianu lazman hazeh. Thank you, Holy One, for giving us life, keeping us going, and bringing us to this moment. This year, may we hear the inner shofar inside of us, and may it wake us up and call us to take action for ourselves, for our community, and for the whole world. And let us say, Amen. All right, thank you guys for coming up here. It was really fun having you. You can stay if you want, but I think that you're probably going to your parents. We're going to continue the service. Good job. Thank you for the Shofar-chestra. That was such a good Shofar-chestra. Great job. All right.
How'd you find the shofar?
And now the congregation can turn to page 121.